Let's talk two-star pitchers and sleeper hitters for Week 23. Up next on Fantasy Baseball Today Express. Welcome into FBT Express on Friday, August 22nd. I am Frank Stampfl, joined by Chris Towers. Let's preview Week 23. Up first, we have the schedule. 18 teams with 6 games next week and 12 teams with 7 games. The D-backs, Braves, Orioles, Red Sox, White Sox, Marlins, Brewers, Mets, Yankees, Phillies, Pirates, and Cardinals. What about the Rockies? They have 6 games, 3 at home in Coors Field against the Cubs, and 3 on the road in Houston against the Astros. Starters sit these fringe 2-star pitchers. Up first, we have Luis Gil against the Nationals and at the White Sox.
That's frustrating because I kind of want to just be done with Luis Gil. He hasn't really been a must-start fantasy pitcher since the first half of last season. Now you can look at it and say, I think it was the lat injury that he dealt with earlier this season, cost him the first almost 4 months of the season. You can look at it and say, well, he's just not right because of that. I don't have an opinion one way or the other. I was pretty skeptical of him coming in, but he hasn't looked good either way in a long time. I think I'm leaning sit on this in both points and roto because roto, there's just a lot of ratio risk, especially with your whip. And in points, I don't think he's gone 5 innings yet in any of his starts. He's super inefficient. His command has been bad. I'm unfortunately, I want to be able to take advantage of the matchups. I think I'm leaning sit on Luis Gil.
Yeah, he's gone 5, I think, in 3 of them, but he has not completed 6 innings yet. Yeah. So that is a problem. Noah Cameron is at the White Sox and home against the Tigers.
I think that's fine. I think that's useful in any format for Noah Cameron.
Sean Manaea is home against the Phillies and Marlins.
This is another one where I want to use him. I don't hate the matchups. Manaea has big strikeout upside as well. The problem is the ratio risk. His ERA is close to 9 in the month of August. He's been really bad, and he's not going deep into games. So I think there's risk in both points and roto. I think in roto, if you only care about strikeouts, Sean Manaea is a fine option. But other than that, I think I'd sit.
Shane Baz at the Guardians, at the Nationals.
You got to sit him. There's clearly upside here. We've had 2 different stretches this season where Shane Baz has had like multiple 9 strikeout starts in a row, but his ERA is over 5. He's giving up a ton of home runs lately. The command has been bad. I would rather him have good starts on my bench than have him in my lineup at this point.
Jacob Misiorowski, home against the D-backs and at the Blue Jays.
This is another one that I think he's only pitched like 5 1/3 innings in 2 starts since coming back from the IL. It wasn't an arm injury or anything, so we didn't think it would disrupt his season, but the command seems to have backed up on him. There's a lot of strikeout upside. There's a lot of ratio risk with Jacob Misiorowski. I think he's a fringe start in roto and probably a stay away in points.
Next up, Kodai Senga gets the Phillies and the Marlins.
I lean towards sitting him in all formats. He has not been going deep into games at all.
Tanner Bybee gets the Rays and Mariners.
I lean towards sitting him. There's the potential for him to go deep into games. He has not been good really at any point this season, Tanner Bybee.
And Mitch Keller is at the Cardinals and at the Red Sox.
The nice thing is there are a lot of 2-star pitchers this week, so normally I would feel a little bad about saying no to so many, but you're going to have 2-star options. I don't think you need to get into Mitch Keller with middling matchups, especially with the way he's pitching.
All right, let's take a quick break. When we return, we'll talk about the pitchers to add and stream for next week. We'll do that right after this.
You can't count on accurate expiration dates.
No, that is a rookie mistake.
Or the kindness of strangers. But thanks to CBS Sports, you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount+.
Welcome back in FBT Express, and let's take a look at 2-star pitchers to add and stream for next week. We have Hurston Waldrop, 75% rostered at the Marlins and at the Phillies. He has looked awesome since coming back. He's throwing strikes. He has new pitches. His splitter is amazing. So definitely like Hurston Waldrop. Cam Schlittler is 52% rostered against the Nationals and at the White Sox. Coming off his best start of the season, he's got tremendous stuff. He's got a really good fastball. So definitely like those matchups as well. Bryce Miller This one is actually these next three are a little bit shaky. Bryce Miller, Sandy Alcantara, Bailey Ober. Chris, what do you think about those three as potential streamers for next week?
I know the results weren't good, and he got hit really hard. Bryce Miller, it was like 100-mile-per-hour average exit velocity in his return from the IL. Other than that, I thought he pitched pretty well. I thought the stuff looked good. His velocity was up, not just from before the elbow injury that landed him on the IL, but it was up from last year. And that was the case in his rehab assignment as well. It is noteworthy that his first start back was not particularly good, and his rehab assignment was not great. It was like a 3.90 ERA, but the whip was like 0.8 on the rehab assignment. So I'm okay with Bryce Miller. I wish Sandy Alcantara had better matchups because he has looked much better the past couple of starts. I think it's been the best he's looked since coming back from Tommy John surgery. I think he's an okay streamer, certainly in points leagues where since the All-Star break, he's averaging over 6 innings per start. So I think he's a good one in points leagues. And then Ober, probably the opposite. I think I like him a little more in Roto. You've got a good whip. Even when things go poorly, it's usually a good whip, at least for Bailey Ober. So I'd be okay with that, but I don't love the matchups. There's a lot of risk with Bailey Ober.
All right, and then some one-star streamers. We have Jeffrey Springs against the Rangers, Jose Soriano at the Astros, Dustin May against the Pirates, and Dean Kramer, who's been pitching well, goes up against the Red Sox. What about the hitters for next week? Best matchups, we have the Yankees, Astros, Red Sox, Pirates, and Cubs. And the worst hitter matchups, D-backs, Guardians, Padres, Mets, and Braves. Let's get into the sleeper hitters. And the first five, we have Jacob Marcy, who's up to 74% rostered. Then Matt Shaw, Trent Grisham, Andrew Vaughn, and Chandler Simpson. These are names we've talked a lot about recently, Chris, so it makes sense for them to be on this list.
I think they're all great. I would like to start any of those five in any league.
Yeah, Jacob Marcy has 7 games on the schedule for next week. Matt Shaw has 3 games in Coors Field. Yeah. He's having a big second half. Trent Grisham, 57% rostered. He's having a nice August here. The matchups are just really good. The Nationals and the White Sox for next week. Andrew Vaughn is doing his thing. He's got 7 games next week. I worry a little bit about Rhys Hoskins returning and, maybe him losing out on a little bit of time.
I don't know what to expect there, really. Yeah. I can't imagine they're going to bench Andrew Vaughn. He has slowed down a little bit. Still hitting for power, but the batting average is way lower in the month of August. I think the bottom would really have to fall out because Rhys Hoskins has just been so uninspiring since joining the Brewers. He wasn't bad this season. He just wasn't. He wasn't a difference maker in the way Andrew Vaughn has been. So I hope and I think that they will continue to give Andrew Vaughn a pretty long rope.
All right, and then the last 5 sleeper hitters, we have Ivan Herrera for next week. He has 3 games in Cincinnati, so you like those in Great American Ballpark. Isaac Collins with 7 games. Lenin Sosa, who's been hitting very well for the White Sox. He's got 7 games. Miguel Andujar looks great since joining the Reds, and he's been getting lots of playing time. Jesus Sanchez had himself a 5-hit game here on Thursday and faces a bunch of righties next week. And that rounds out the sleeper hitters. For more extensive fantasy baseball coverage, listen to our full-length podcast, Fantasy Baseball Today, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere else podcasts are found. Thanks for listening to Fantasy Baseball Today Express, and we will be back again next week. Bye-bye.